What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NFL DFS video. We are breaking down Sunday Night Football. Super excited to check that out. We've got the San Francisco 49ers flying all the way to the frozen tundra of Buffalo. We are the Bills, 49ers. We've got some weather to look at. So, Cali people traveling all the way over there. We are questioning whether or not which quarterback is going to be going, and that is kind of where we're at. So what we're going to do is, if you've never been here before, welcome to the channel. Hopefully we help you break it down. We are trying to make you a better DFS player by breaking down some statistics and showing you guys as much information as we possibly can and players that make sense. And on top of that, we are going to build a few lineups on DraftKings, FanDuel, and on Yahoo Sports. So stick around, buckle up. You're in for a treat. As always, these videos are sponsored by Outlier.bet. If you have not already checked them out yet, the link is in the description to sign up. You get a 7-day free trial to their pro package. We use Outlier not only for sports betting, but to break the games down, which is exactly what you see on the screen right now. As you can see, making of this video, BUF, San Fran, Buffalo being a 250 moneyline favorite as of right now. The spread is currently at -6.5 for Buffalo, and the over-under is currently at over 44.5. Now, weather will play a factor here, and kind of what I wanted to say is we can talk about the weather forecast. So it's kind of gotten a little better. It was flurries, 48% chance for there'll probably be snow in this game. 34 degrees. It's going to be cold. It's going to be completely different than what San Francisco is probably used to. Having a ton of snow leading up to this game, anything can happen. It's definitely something to look at. But as you can see, Buffalo in their last 10 games, 8 of their last 10 games, they've won. They've taken the money line. 6 straight games they've won. Buffalo -6.5. Only 60% of the time of the last 10 games have they hit this. And they've hit it twice in a row. Then they missed that out on that one in this game right here. And you can break it down even further. You can dig in and see what they've done. And then over-unders. 5 of the last 10 games, they've hit over 44.5. Last 3 straight games they have. And then prior to that, they lost that 4 times. They did not hit the over-under. So it's always, something to look at and definitely something we can build on. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the statistics and all of the interesting data points we have from last year up until week 13 of Sunday Night Football. So this does include yesterday's game this includes Friday's game, which we absolutely killed it. And you guys have been telling me how you guys did on Friday afternoon football between the Chiefs and the Raiders. So looking at the data points, these are all for DraftKings, but there's a lot of people that play FanDuel and the other one and Yahoo that we are going to be talking about that as well. So before we get started, we already talked about our Outlier.bet is our sponsor. History of. This is our second YouTube channel that we've launched. It's the history of, and then it will be the history of a bunch of different things. We started with the history of just the NFL itself. We've done the Dallas Cowboys, and I believe we're going to do a history of every single team in the NFL. We're going to move on and do baseball, history of MLB, and then the history of every team. And then we're going to move on and take your suggestions. What would you guys like to hear the history of? And we can do that. So if you have not already, please go check out those videos, watch them in their entirety, and hit the subscribe button. We just launched this last Friday. On top of that, we mentioned it in the NBA video from Saturday, but AI is the future. I think and I've been digging deep and diving into all of that lately. I think I'm going to start a YouTube channel about that. So if that's something you guys are interested in, be on the lookout for that as well. So that being said, let's check out the data. Let's check out everything we have to offer here. So since last year, the start of last year, 84% of the winning lineups have had at least one of the quarterbacks in the winning spot. Not necessarily a captain or MVP spot or superstar on Yahoo, but in a spot in their lineup, in the winning lineup. I think Josh Allen's probably that one to be there. We're still waiting to see if it's going to be Allen, it's going to be Brandon Allen, or if it's going to be Brock Purdy in this game. So still waiting on news, seeing if anything is updated this afternoon. Questionable. Yeah, that's the problem. It's going to be questionable, and we might not know till a couple hours before game time. So when we build these lineups, I'm probably not going to be building any with Brock Purdy. So these are initial lineups to change. If you want to see all of the plays we like at the captain spot and all the flex plays, we do have that under the NFL tab. You can go NFL cheat sheet. It is scroll over to the Friday or Sunday Night Football cheat sheet, and that'll be on there for you guys. So, only 6% of the winning lineups have used all $50,000 in their salary on DraftKings. So don't feel like you need to use all the salary. 16% of the players have used, or the winning lineups contained a $200 player or less. Looking at them, it's been a while since we've even used one of these. Not a ton jump out to us that even makes sense. Obviously, anything that jumps up will come throughout the day, but I don't think, Guerrero, you could look at, maybe he vultures a touchdown somehow, but he hasn't done anything in the last 3 games. I don't feel like he's going to be in there at all. You got, there's not a ton that I like, 200 or less. 80% of the winning lineups had a $4,000 player or less, so we're looking at basically Dawson Knox and down. Dawson Knox, Mac Hollins, I do not mind. 49ers defense, if you want to throw a tournament, I'm okay with that, but I'm probably not using that. Ray Davis makes sense. Jordan Mason would make sense. Kyle Juszczyk can always come through and vulture a touchdown there. 1 or 2, get some run, does get some targets and some yardage in the passing game, but only 1 touchdown on the year. Usually I like to use Juszczyk in the Super Bowl for a touchdown prop bet because it usually happens when he's in there. Average lineup people use on FanDuel, the winning lineup 47,500, and then stacking percentage depending on what the game script is going to say. A 4-2 stack is the prevalent one at 44%, a 3-3 stack 36%, and a 5-1 stack 21%. Not necessarily what's going to happen because of the weather. A lot of crazy things could happen in this game, but we're trying to make you better here, so we're giving you the stats. Captain percentages, 39% of the time that's been a wide receiver as your captain, which I am A-okay with. If we're looking at a Debo, or if we're looking at Khalil Shakir or a Jawan Jennings, I don't mind that. But again, Christian McCaffrey is a running back, but he catches the ball so much, we could consider him a cheat code and a running back and wide receiver. Wouldn't be surprised if he has a great game as well, because this Bills defense has been very bad against the run. 28% of the time, it's been a running back, so McCaffrey. 17% of the time, it's been a quarterback. I'm probably looking at Josh Allen here, but again, if it comes down to like a Brandon Allen starting here at 8,200, even Brock Purdy, just depends if they're good enough, I'm okay with that as a captain, but this is if I make multiple lineups. 7% of the time it's been a tight end, 7% of the time it's been a defense, and only 2% of the time it's been a kicker. I don't see this being a kicker's game with the wind and with the weather, but anything can happen. But again, you got a hot weather climate team in San Francisco flying all the way across the country in a blizzard. We will see how this game goes. Now, let's build some lineups here. Let's look at captain spot. And again, I said I think Josh Allen makes a lot of sense if we're putting him in the captain spot there. So I'm going to put Josh Allen. Oh, nope. I'm going to put Josh Allen as a captain. He is the most expensive, but I think he makes his way in there. You do have James Cook, who I don't mind. He's got a good matchup against San Francisco's run D. We're averaging about 5,900, 6,000 is basically what we're looking at. Juwan Jennings will make his way in there. I'll take him a little bit. Kincaid being out again, I kind of like Dawson Knox here. He is a cheaper option down here at 4,000, so that would check off the 4,000 or less player in our lineup, and it does allow us to go to about 6,200 for each one. Amari Cooper looks like he is good to go, ready to rock and roll. I like that matchup there. Now we're at 5,300. Do we want to go with Jake Moody? Do we want to go with the Bills defense against San Francisco? Maybe Ricky Pearsall is what we're looking at. Curtis Samuel. So if we are looking at this, it's currently a 4-1 stack here. Pearsall, had 2 good games, hasn't done anything the last 2 games. Didn't have a target against Green Bay, but they were down big in that game. Only had 2 targets with no receptions against Seattle. So you could get a little crazy there. You could look at the Bills defense because maybe you think Brandon Allen's going to come in and he's not going to do anything. Bills defense, they've had a couple of good games every so often. One against Indy, not against Kansas City. They put up a ton of runs or a ton of points there. They've had 5 interceptions in their last 2 games. With the weather, I don't mind the Bills defense because you got to remember, these players are not used to this weather. And if it even starts to snow really bad, that is a boost to the defense there. So I am going to put that in there. Josh Allen as a captain all the way down to the Bills defense in that one. But we're not done. We are going to build a couple more lineups. We're going to look at what a Christian McCaffrey lineup could look like. Save 600. It's got a great matchup against the Bills defense here. I think we could get Josh Allen in there. I do think so. I think we could get James Cook, so we're at 4,500. So we got to find a little value. One that it did show was Ronnie Bell. Now, this is very tournament-esque. Not necessarily always going to hit. Hasn't done anything in the past 3 games. Only 1 target in the last 3 games, 3 targets in the last 4 games, 3 targets technically in the last 6 games that he's played. Has not done much. So he's always one, but he does allow you to go different directions at 6,300. And he's a very boomer bust play. If he could just roll off maybe 2 touchdowns out of nowhere, it would be a sneaky play here. And if Ronnie Bell goes off, I would not be surprised if he is in the nuts lineup with the winner, however much, whatever you're playing. So I've got Josh Allen. Who do we want him to throw to? I think we want him to throw to Amari Cooper. And at 5,500, we are down to Tyler Bass or Jake Moody. Bills defense, probably not. Dawson Knox, 4,000. Curtis Samuel, 4,400. If we look at Curtis Samuel, back-to-back really good games, I'm looking at Curtis Samuel. Now, that is a 4-2 stack with San Francisco, but our captain spot, McCaffrey, is that the one that I'm looking at here. And let's build one more lineup. Let's get a little bit different and crazy and go with maybe possibly a Jawan Jennings-led captain spot, and he's down 11,100. We should be able to go everywhere. Let's, for instance, say Brock Purdy's going to be in there, so if he is in there, we will take him. If he is not, and it's going to be Brandon Allen, you can just switch this lineup out for Brandon Allen because he's $1,000 cheaper. Now, I think we get Josh Allen in there. I think we could get James Cook in there. Now we got 4,500 the rest of the way. George Kittle makes a lot of sense. Now we're at 500. Whether or not we want to go down this low, we could. I just don't know if we need to change anything up. Like Virgil, I could see, but it just depends. They signed him to the active roster, game log wise. Hasn't seen any action, and they probably won't. So let's take Cook out of there and keep Kittle in there. So we got Purdy throwing it to Kittle and Jawan Jennings. You got Allen, but Allen needs to throw it to somebody, guys. About 5,000, maybe a little bit less. Let's put Dawson Knox in there at 4,000. Now we're at 6,100. We're looking at, maybe Persall has a good game. Maybe we are looking at a 3-3 or a 4-2 stack San Francisco. You got to get creative building these lineups, guys. That's what we tell you every time. So Jawan Jennings as your captain, Purdy throwing it to Kittle and Persall and Jennings, and then Josh Allen throwing it to Dawson Knox. But if, in fact, Brock Purdy is ruled out for whatever reason, we are able to afford Brandon Allen for 1,000. Then we have 2,300 on the table there, and you could switch it up, and you could go some sort of, that's 7,100. How would we be able to get? I wonder how we would be able to get. Where'd he go? Who do we have in there? 7,100. Depending on where we're at. I'm trying to think how we could maneuver this to get us some Debo in here. But Debo is always one that you do want to get in there. Maybe we go Matt Collins there. And instead of Knox, well, no, that's not going to work. We're Amari Cooper. You could switch it up like that. Now that would make it a 3-3 stack. Jennings at the top with Brandon Allen throwing it to him and Kittle. And then you got Josh Allen throwing to Amari Cooper and Mac Hollins in that situation. So that's just one way to do it. That is a DraftKings type way. Again, if you want to see all the rest of them, we have the cheat sheet that has all of them broken down, which MVP places or spots we like, which flex spots we like. We've got it for you there. So do not fret, do not worry. We will now move on to FanDuel. Now the difference with FanDuel, you got $10,000 more, but you have one less spot. So the pricing is usually a little bit different here. Especially like some players will be different ranks. So that's why some people are like, who are your core plays? It's different from each website because their scoring is different. Their salaries are different. So it's a lot different when you build around and try to do each and every website, whether or not. And then Yahoo's pricing is completely different. So let's take a look at how we're going to do this. Josh Allen MVP makes a lot of sense. Let's put Purdy in there. So you have 13,500 for Purdy. But if Allen is actually the starter, you've got Allen at 5,000. So it will get, I mean, we'll be able to build a lot if Purdy is ruled out there. So we got both quarterbacks. Who are they going to throw to? I think Josh Allen throws it to Dawson Knox, being the only tight end. That makes sense for us. Now we're at 11,750 for 2 spots. If we put Christian McCaffrey in there, we're at 8,000. We could go Mac Hollins. We could go Ricky Pearsall. We could go Curtis Samuel, Ray Davis, Dawson Knox already in there. I'm going to be sneaky here, and I'm going to go Mac Hollins. So we got Josh Allen throwing it to Knox and Hollins. We got Brock Purdy throwing it to McCaffrey as well. So that's one lineup that you can put in there. A second lineup, and this shouldn't be a surprise, but looking at some sort of McCaffrey, I'm trying to see what kind of McCaffrey lineup we can get. He is very expensive for MVP. He's very expensive. I get that. It's 15,500, but we save 500 instead of going with Josh Allen. So we've got him there. I think we could get Josh Allen in there. Depending. And now, a lot of people will be off of it, but maybe a Tyler Bass kicker will do well. Even if it's the weather, maybe the weather holds off and no one's on the kicker and he has 5 field goals, which would take us home pretty much. Dawson Knox is in there. And then we're looking at 13,000. So you got James Cook, George Kittle, Deebo Samuel. I think I'm going to go with George. He's my number 1 tight end for rankings for tight ends this week. So definitely check that. We've left 1,000 on the table. Maybe you don't want Bass in there. So if you take Tyler Bass out, we're at 9,500. Yeah. The defenses I wouldn't use. Yeah, it's Bass. Or you could go down maybe Mac Hollins. But yeah, let's go Tyler Bass. Let's go kicker there. So we got Christian McCaffrey, we got Josh Allen, Tyler Bass, Dawson Knox, and George Kittle. And I don't, as you guys know, I don't even know if I have the FanDuel points. I don't have the FanDuel points. So that is one lineup here, and then we'll do one more lineup here just to get you guys in the mood of possibly looking at what we could afford. But let's say somehow, some way, I don't know how, but Brock Purdy comes in, MVP. Throws it to Kittle, throws it to Deebo. Now we're at 11,500 the rest of the way. We got Amari Cooper here, and then we are at 13,000. We could go James Cook. Now you've got Purdy throwing it to Kittle and Samuel. We also got James Cook and Amari Cooper to line up the final lineup there. So if this is interesting to you, Yahoo might be a little bit different. Now, there's not a ton of you that actually play Yahoo, but I have been reached out like, can you guys build a lineup for us on Yahoo, because we play it and no one constructs lineups. So apparently no one out there in the DFS world constructs these type of lineups consistently, I guess. But I wanted to show you guys kind of what it is. Now, I can only play free games on Yahoo. I can sports bet on FanDuel, DraftKings. I can play on FanDuel, DraftKings. I can only play free bets or free entries on Yahoo. Now, I did take a free entry out of 65,000, I think 4 weeks ago, and we won first place by ourselves for $150, which is not too shabby considering we put $0 down. So, again, pricing's a little bit different. You got Josh Allen at 35, you got James Cook 32, you got Christian McCaffrey at 30. But let's say McCaffrey at the superstar spot makes sense because the Bills' rush defense has not been that good. But again, they're flying across country and it is cold out there. But let's put Josh Allen in there. I think we could get Brock Purdy as well. We're left with 2 spots available. It's going to be one of those boomer bust ones, but like a Curtis Samuel while everyone else is on everybody else. Now we're at $14. Ricky Pearsall, who did nothing last week, but maybe he comes through, is kind of what I want to look at. I don't think anyone will be on Ricky Pearsall unless they're playing the $150 lineup or 150 entry lineup and build that way. So that's one lineup. I don't know if I'm able to find another entry fee lineup here, but we can definitely see to try and build. You've got them, single game. You got entry of $0. I already entered that one. Here's another one I can enter. So if we are looking at a different way to build a lineup here. Oh, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. I want to do San Francisco. I want to do entry of $0. I can't do any more, but I can just put a lineup out there so you guys can see it, but I can't enter it. So I'm going to put Josh Allen at the top. I'm going to look at, let's go McCaffrey as well. I want Josh Allen thrown it to Amari Cooper. Now we're at $15 for 2 spots available. We could look down here further or not if you want. Maybe he throws to Mac Hall or Dawson Knox. And then we're looking at $21, allows us Deebo Samuel in there. Or Brandon Allen if he's going to be in there. So you got Josh Allen, Superstar, CMC, Amari Cooper, Dawson Knox, and Deebo Samuel. So that's what we've got in this video. Hopefully it was a good, informative breakdown for you for Sunday Night Football. Hopefully you guys are ready to rock and roll for the main slate. If you have not already checked it out, I will link at the end of this video. I've already put out videos this week for Week 13. There's a video out there already for the top 5 stacks that we like this week. We're going to break down the main slate. It might already be out there depending when you watch this video. We're breaking down the main slate of the NFL Week 13, the plays we like. And we're going to build some lineups with SaberSim for you as well. So we're going to use our matchup tool. We're going to use our big brain. We're going to help you guys out. We're going to have a giveaway in that video. So anyone, and that's what I'll say, if you're watching this, anyone who has not already done it, subscribe to this channel. Watch these videos in their entirety. Hopefully you learned something because we're very excited to be able to bring you that, which is a little bit different. I plan on doing that, this platform, that YouTube page, an AI one, and I think I'm going to be doing a gaming one as well. Again, I'm just trying to broaden my horizons while I am youngish. I found a lot of gray hairs down here the other day, though. Not thrilled about that. But that is what I've got in this video. Any questions, comments, concerns, get it down below. If there are any captain plays that we didn't talk about that you think are sneaky and want our community to know about, put those down below as well. And get in our absolutely free Discord. We are rocking it over there. So good luck today, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!